Welcome back. Looks like the matches aren't being held today. But we do have a qualifying match ready to go. Yeah, that happened. That worked.
I'm back.
So what are you going to do? Soul versus Lycanine or Cast versus NightEnD?
Cast NightEnD for sure. I never understand how on TV, like you see it on House and other shows, people take pills and they just like chew them up or they swallow with no water. I don't know how that's a skill you develop, but
I can swallow pills without water.
So my hardest problem right now with the muscles that I can't move in my wrist, twisting things is very difficult.
Oh.
So opening like a water bottle is a pain in the ass. Turning the sink on for the tap water is a pain in the ass. Like if I basically don't have a glass of water and I gotta take pills, it's gonna hurt a lot to take the pills. And by the way, because I know someone's gonna ask, I don't have any really fun medication. They gave me 6 T3s in the hospital. That lasted me for 4 days, and then I've only been given regular Tylenol since then, and it sucks. I've been mixing it with Advil, but fuck. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should be on Vicodin," and like crazy shit. I'm like, "That'd be nice. That'd be cool."
Canadian healthcare. I don't know.
Luckily, I'm at this point where I don't need it as badly, though. I mean, like this is actually, I take painkillers like maybe twice a day now instead of every 4 hours, all day, every day. So, yay, progress.
Okay, so we're going to be casting Cast versus NightEnD. That is about ready to go. And then everything else is playing out, I believe, including Mini Razor Hate Me and Lycanine Soul. The last match of today is probably going to be Harsum Guru, I believe, is being held for us.
Nice.
So,
okay, I'm cool
just
with that.
2 more best of 3s to end off this day.
When did they start? 7 or 8?
8 your time.
Oh, it's only been 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, it feels like so much more. God damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, because this is paired up with the Alima League, too, it feels like a lot.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. It's just the sitting pain and a grumpy old
Well,
man.
maybe I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about me.
Oh, well, unfortunately for you, everything's about me, so shut the fuck up and give me attention, please.
Okay, like, enough tension being on broken arms and shit.
Yeah, I'm disabled.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for carrying the cast with the streaming side of things.
Oh.
Because the reality is right
whatever.
now, guys, I can't do anything solo. It's not going to happen. And it probably won't for still like another 2 weeks or so. Like, I just can't.
Well, I'll tell you guys stories while we wait. So I finally thought of some. I do have a lobby coming up, so not waiting for very long, but at least tell you about Meltdown. So Meltdown is like, if you guys don't know, it's like a esports bar chain.
Hang on. Quick interjection before you get into the story, because I do want to hear it. StarCraft actually just posted a Commander preview of Alarak on their YouTube. Sorry, go on.
Cool. But it's an esports bar, it's a chain, and they just opened in Montreal like 2 weeks ago, so they were very excited to have the international, I guess, happen, so people come there, and then of course DreamHack, teamed up with them kind of to advertise and whatnot, and of course everyone went there after. It was like a 10-minute drive from the convention, but the coolest thing about it was not that it had like, a couple of PCs there so you could play video games, like a PlayStation, it was a cool place to hang out, but that it had themed drinks was probably the best part. And
Oh, yeah. I think anyone who saw pictures from the weekend probably saw that Blue Flame Hellion.
yes, because the Blue Flame Hellion was by far the most popular, not because we're all StarCraft nerds, because there was like Jim Raynor and I want to say there's something else StarCraft themed, but I can't remember. I guess there's First Blood, which is like everything themed. But anyways, the thing is that it was probably one of the like more delicious shots. They also lit it on fire, so it was blue, liquor, sweet, and whatnot. But they also lit it on fire, so everyone liked that. So set guitars to kill. It's a common, chatter, and he's like a huge fan of Scarlet, so you always like see him in the fan club and whatnot. He was around. I hung out with him quite a bit. And this poor guy, he gets a Blue Flame Hellion that's on fire, and he's about to blow out the fire, because, you're supposed to be first.
Don't tell me his hair caught on fire.
No.
Because that guy has crazy looking hair.
Yeah. No, but he gets bumped. So the fire alcohol spills onto his fingers. And that shit actually hurt. It's not like when you like wave your hand over a flame and you don't feel anything. No, it actually burned his fingers. And I was like, man, if this is America, you would have sued him by now.
That sucks.
Yeah, and poor him. He was like, he like couldn't drink anymore. He was too afraid.
So this is a question I actually have because I'm not familiar with the whole. Because like I know it's more of an American thing to do, but like frivolous lawsuits. Do you sue the guy who bumped into you, or do you sue the people who provided the drink? Right? Like who's
People
more at
provided the
fault?
drink. Pretty sure. They should have.
That doesn't make sense to me
because
because like
or some shit.
that doesn't make sense because you'd be like, okay, well actually it should be the guy who like dumped the actual fire in you by bumping into you. Like
I'm
if someone
sure-
stabs you with a knife by quote unquote accident, do you sue the knife maker? Like.
Well, that's okay. I'm sure there's someone who has like a law degree, right? Twitch lawyers and gonna come in here and tell you what's up. But the point is,
don't waste time on frivolous lawsuits. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. In the first place.
Whoopsie.
Is this by the way just the best of 3?
Yeah. Yes, it is just a best of 3. I was not in StarCraft 2 when I pressed buttons, so there we go. Now it's up. But there's other drinks. Talk about it in a second. In the bottom rights, as the Red Terran, he is Cass.
And his opponent in the upper left, we got to meet him at DreamHack Austin. It's the Blue Protoss, NightEnD.
So they had like a menu for shots and a menu for drinks, you know, that you could hold in your hand and whatnot. Some of the more popular ones, besides Blue Flame Helling, was the Nunu, which
Like
was
League of
like
Legends?
yeah, like League of Legends. It was a nice like cool, refreshing drink. You know, it was like milk based type deal. I can't remember exactly what's in it. Jim Raynor, of course, was whiskey, Canadian whiskey, which I did not touch. I did not feel very good. I could not handle whiskey. First Blood was very sweet. Now is pretty good. That's another one that everyone ordered. And there's also like there's Dota themed things too. And I can't remember what they're called though.
So here you are enjoying blood, and I'm the one who's a vampire. Like, come on!
Hey, yeah, you. But yeah, all the drinks. I tasted not every single drink, sorry. I had a lot of different drinks. I probably had like a 50% of the menu just from like sips from other people's drinks or buying rounds of shots, right?
How do you not have mono by now? Like, seriously?
Right? I don't know. I was a little worried, honestly, because someone actually brought that up. You know, you do the thing where you share a drink with your friend, and they're like, hope you don't have mono, and you laugh, and then you think about it for a second.
You're like, yeah, I hope you don't.
Oh, God. But yeah, I tasted a lot, and every single one was good. I bet I would have liked the whiskey-themed ones, even though I don't really take whiskey that well. There's a couple tequila ones, too, which... hopefully I didn't really taste. They had a drink that they put, like, you know, the thing where they put the drink in and then they put a shot in, you know? So what you do is you take the shot out and it all floods, right? And it looks very, very pretty. That was cool.
Nobody cares. Just talk about the game.
Yeah, the game's not really having a lot going on, though, so... There's a 3-racks opener, which I find odd. This is not what usually people are doing. People are doing a lot more 1-1-1. The Wouldn't Mind drop, not the... mass amount of barracks. So that's the only interesting thing, really.
I hope actually we do have a reason to go back to Montreal at some point because I would like to try that bar.
Well, DreamHack has confirmed going back there, which is a question if StarCraft's going to be back there. It was so odd to begin with that it was the only event there. Besides bring your own computer.
Maybe we're like, hey DreamHack, give us a small booth like CSL did. We'll have our own StarCraft tournament with.
Well, everyone said that's what they wanted us to do. So feels bad. Like the casters in production.
What,
the
just like
casters
community cast on site?
Yeah. You know, I think Maynard actually surprisingly thought that's what we were doing, and that's why BaseTradeTV was on, and I was like, no, I have not cast. No one's done that since like MLG 2013. Where have you been?
Like, that's the thing, dude. We got the equipment. I would totally do that. Like, we could bring our we've got live cast equipment that's high quality too.
Yeah. It's something that was
like for those
so
watching, by the
hype.
way, we didn't rent our equipment for Hell 2 Week time. We invested in it, in the idea that we'd be doing more. So, like, we got $1,000 headsets and stuff. Like, we put money into this with the intention of doing more stuff in the future. It sucks that the only time we've gotten to use it since then, though, was when we spent that month in Toronto.
Yeah. That is the sucky part. It was so hype back in the day when your community caster was... I don't think they were flown out, but they had the opportunity to technically cast live at the event. I mean, they were, like, pushed off to a corner, right? Like, it was not the most glamorous thing in the world, but it was something that you felt like you were climbing the ranks to, and that just... didn't really work out after MLG basically failed around 2014. Anyway, as I said, this is not too interesting of a game. Besides the opener with a lot more units coming out earlier as opposed to tech earlier. You know, NightEnd's doing typical Protoss stuff right here. I do want to note, as NightEnd noted in the lobby, you might have seen it before I transitioned, he did have problems last qualifier that caused
connections.
him... Yeah, well, first he couldn't do it.
Was that the one I was casting? Or no, I cast Sake, never mind. No, I cast NightEnd. I cast NightEnd, yeah.
Yeah,
you had the
NightEnd
connection problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, he had something happen because it went so late, he had to leave. That's whatever. But then when the replacement match happened, he had connection problems that, you know, he told the observers to get out and whatnot. So he said, if it happens again, he'd prefer us to leave. But I just want to note that casters have not been a problem for StarCraft 2 in 2 years. Anyway,
well,
thanks
Emil.
to... well, unless they're literally disconnecting from the lobby, they don't cause lag. Anyway, the... Seriously, thank you to Jono. That looks it looks really weird on Twitch alerts. Jono1232. Resub for 7 months. Thank you. Woo. Woohoo! NightEnd's going with a little bit of aggression. Wait a minute, what? This doesn't look like the order of things. Not that I'm like a professional Protoss player and like will tell you exactly what build is what, but this doesn't look right. So he's going for a blink opener, which is fine, right? And then a double forge behind that is also fine. Usually you're being a little bit aggressive while doing so you kind of know what exactly to expect, where their medevacs are going, what their army looks like, and you can blink back and whatnot, but blink's not even done, so he can't do that. And he's getting a double forge, but he also adds on like a ton of gateways first, instead of a third base. Usually it's like extreme greed or not much greed at all, and usually it's not 6 gateways to an expansion, but maybe he was really scared of Koss having those 3 barracks so early, you know? Like, he did see actually 5 barracks, so that might be the case. Just knowing you can't defend a third base, but maybe you can sneak in double upgrades. Okay, alright. Now I guess it kind of makes sense that I thought through it, but... That does mean Cass has already done damage, you know? Protosses are getting much faster expansions like Legacy of the Void than Heart of the Storm, that's for sure. I mean, a 9-minute expansion is going to be kind of late, if that's NightEnd's plan here. Cass, by the way, just checks with thirds, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'll leave. Gets his own third.
Get my own third, whatever. Cooler than your third.
Yeah, right?
I'll turn it into another building once it's done, too. Just you wait and see.
This is where he's getting the benefit of this defense is in these upgrades. Sure, his third base isn't ideal for Protoss, but at least he'll have good upgrades. He'll have 2-2 probably over 1-1. He continues chrono boosting. But Koss is a very large army. it's gonna have some liberators soon too.
Those Marauders look really beefy for some reason.
Wow, just because they, you know, kept him holiday weight. It's Labor Day weekend, man. Give him a break.
Oh, that weight went straight to the shoulders.
He's gonna scout the... I mean, it is important that he scouts the third base as intended. Not many 2-base all-ins would have, like, hit right now, but still, you want to make sure they're not coming at you with something weird, and he sees it. And sees that he can't do too much about it yet, but his reinforcements are now here, combined together. As I said, he does have... Oh, I thought he was getting Liberators. Oh, I guess they only just popped out. So he does have Liberators on the way as well. Those could help out the army. Those could back attack. It's up to Koss. He's going to try and take this army on. There's not a lot of Adepts, so while there's 3 Immortals and a Guardian Shield, this is a big Bioforce. Like, I actually think he could take a pretty decently traded army fight here. Still waiting for more reinforcements. Colossus are on the way. It is NightEnD. He was one of the first guys to really showcase how powerful Colossus could be, especially when Liberators were a problem. This is a nice concave for NightEnD, and it is with an upgrade advantage for him for a couple more seconds, but it's such a large Bioforce. This is why I thought Koss could take on the army. There's no Adepts to soak up all this damage. Blinkstalkers do terrible against Bio. And I think NightEnD just lost. Yeah.
Yeah, the army supply just became very bleak very quickly, unfortunately, and Well, the timings for Colossus were so close. As we saw, it wasn't quite there, and Koss will take game number 1.
Bit of a weirder TVP, and it really felt a lot of that was because Koss went for a more old school opener that you couldn't really, like, if you go for like a wouldn't mind drop, 1 base or 2 base, well, 2 base. Bling Stalkers can be out and about on the map, containing, scouting, doing what they want. Maybe he just didn't think he was going to go for 3 racks, and that really changed his plans. But either way, NightEnD dies pretty easily. It can't be good for your confidence. And it's just a best of 3 for this qualifying match. Is already 1 loss away from just being sent out again.
Yeah, so we got 1 more best of 3 lined up after this as a reminder. Hearthstone versus Guru. Hopefully won't start ahead of time or anything like that.
Did say it was gonna hold it, but it is a veto process, by the way, so everything has been vetoed down, and then they chose the maps. Next map is Frozen Temple. And I wonder if we'll see that tank push again. It's been popular in the other best of 3s you've seen. That's weird. Oh, there it goes. Apparently there's one more caster. I'm not even sure who that caster was.
So while we get towards this, I want to talk a bit about the actual main event. So again, August 26th, or sorry, excuse me, 25th through 27th are going to be group stages into like a grand finals and all this stuff. But there's actually a lot of money on this. So the thing that they're trying to qualify for right now is basically the main tournament, which in itself is a qualifier for the even more main tournament.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the prize pool. First place $7,500, second place $4,500, third place $3,000 US.
This is not some like, you know, people trying to make good and give the qualifying winners $50, which I think has happened before. We definitely cast something where the qualifier winners got like chump change, but still, you know, something. This is actually a lot of money for just getting to a qualifier. But alright, Frozen Temple. In the top left as the blue Protoss, he is NightEnD.
And his opponent up 1 game. It's going to be none other than the red Terran, Koss.
He's up 1. So, tank push looks pretty strong. We've seen now, I think, 2 Terrans do the 1 base version. A little bit different, like leading open up with the Cyclone first, and then into the 1 base tank push. Person we cast last series, I've already forgotten the name, who it was. Well, I didn't take very long, did it? Anyway, did just kind of...
and Lily Canine, or what were we talking about here?
No, Lily Canine the Cyclone. I went through that. It was the one we cast last... Didn't we cast some other Terran in the last match? Was it Cast versus DNS?
And Tarantius. Am I having a great... Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so... Cass versus DNS. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Cass did the 1 base version without the Cyclone opener.
I thought you were saying different Terran, like not just like last game. I thought you meant like who's the last Terran. I'm like, I didn't think we cast him other than casting like an Ian today. Like, this is
my bad.
news to me.
So anyway, this might be the same exact push we saw versus DNS. Actually, it's not. It's already not. Never mind. Never mind. But the point is, Cass and Lincoln did a bit different. I wondered if anything was going to happen. He could still do a 2-base tank push. I've seen you Thermal do, but I recall last time he could go for a Marine opener. And then a factory instead of bothers to get the Reaper. Second barracks. Okay, well, you know, last game did work out pretty damn well. You could just go for a very similar build, a lot of bio once again. And if NightEnd's trying to, you know, play against someone he's hoping to go for What Am I drop, he's going to be, well, fortunately, wrong. Just straight up wrong. Maybe this is the middle of the road build. No, there's second barracks. Excuse me.
Middle of the road is always such a funny phrase because while it totally makes sense on its own, I always think like, so you're getting hit by cars because like
Yeah.
the road, like
It's.
what does that mean?
I wonder if it's one of those things where like jack of all trades, right, isn't the end of it. Because jack of all trades sounds good, but then the finishing is master of none, so that's not so good, right? I just guess it depends on your point of view. But like middle of the road, okay, I guess you're kind of getting benefits from both sides, but not all. But literally, if you're in the middle of the road, you're gonna get like crushed and killed. So
Right?
is there an end to that saying, and that we've forgotten with time? I don't know. But the point is, it's not actually, and in fact, it's Marauder. Did he do this last game? Did I just not notice it? I mean, usually if you're getting Marauder slow before anything else, you are actually looking to surprise your opponents, like push out with a very odd number of units at a very odd time, and catch the Stalker back in the day, right, off guard. But in this case, like it's the Void's case, an Adept off guard, almost works out perfectly. Had NightEnD shaded in as the Marauder hit it, and Marceau finished, 3 seconds now, for instance, that Adept would probably be dead, but it does have the shade cancelled, and it's running away from the Marines. On the other hand, it didn't see the Marauder, so, you know, it might not know a push is on its way. And that might be worse than having lost the Adept. This is a little scary. Reaper's still alive too. Reaper grenades certainly help out versus Zerg, and they can still help out versus Protoss a little bit. NightEnd's pylons aren't quite done, but it seems perfectly timed for this. Yeah, there's too many overcharges. This isn't gonna work. I will say though, if NightEnd was any greedier or just any more forgetful about those forward pylons, I could see this doing a lot of damage. Get to the pylon when it's only 50% done. Militia core feels useless. Stalkers can't micro. I could see that. But there's still a lot more overcharges. 2 more. A lot more.
Yeah. Sorry, having a bit of a side chat here with Thanius. Quick shoutouts to him. Glad he got home safe and sound. Great job casting a DreamHack. You see that Rap God highlight someone made? It was so good.
I did not look at it.
Well, clearly you care.
I am a super casual. As I said, I was only checking Reddit the entire time and just decided not to look at that. Yeah. I usually just checked what people were saying about the matches. I didn't look at any highlights.
Checks Reddit, can't post pictures, whatever. I don't care.
You shouldn't care. There was no good pictures to take.
Oh yeah. So that was the question I actually have about DreamHack. Since we've been kind of intersplicing experiences there, I know you kind of described it, but I didn't really get the full understanding. So you said it was like a hotel and a venue. Like, was there just like an insanely large lobby, and then above the lobby were rooms, or how did that work?
So imagine like a hotel, and then you go through a little walkway, and there's a convention center next to it. That was basically what it was. So it was a little bit weirder than that.
Attached.
Yeah, it was attached. It was a little bit weirder than that because it was not like a hallway that you went through that was very obvious. It was like down elevators, left, then right, then left, then down some stairs, then left, and then up.
Select start.
Yes, it was like that, but eventually the point is you got to the next building. So I always made jokes that even though I was like at the hotel, it was still like a pain to go back and like drop my stuff off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Army at the top of the ramp, too scary to take on because I think Kaz did identify there were some sentries with this. And force fields would be a little too much to deal with.
I mean, last game, NightEnD, I think really, and I think he realized this too for this game. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It really felt like he had, first of all, the wrong composition, right? Like, not any adepts, not enough immortals, Colossus too late, like whatever you want to say. But then also, like, over-defended against what he saw was a 5 racks. You know, and a 5 racks is very scary before 3 command centers. He wasn't wrong in being defensive, but probably a little bit overly defensive. Here, I think he only scouted the 3 barracks and then the faster 3rd command center, so it wasn't such a problem. But the overall point is that he has a nicely timed 3rd base. Kaz also does, so the game still goes on, right? But he's also getting the double forge upgrades, and he is getting to his Colossus tech once again, and all he has to do is survive against this push. But this is still a tall order. This is 20 supply up. It won't have any upgrades, but it'll have brute force.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this earlier. when we're casting Billowy, where we did see like it was players like NightEnD and others who really got a handle on things like Colossus earlier than most, and hopefully we get to see him show some of that off. But this attack's coming. We might have that same situation as last time. Depends how well this is guarded. Big overstim at a cost. So much of that army is injured and for nothing.
Yeah, that was pretty big. I think he realized Force Fields could come down. That's why he backed off, or didn't want to commit without the Liberators being in a better position. And they're like very slowly, very small step trying to siege forward. With 3 Immortals and a Guardian Shield, you know, it really does require quite a lot of bio to help out here, and he does have his reinforcements on the way now, but not as easy as last game so far. Trying to bait some of those Stalkers and Liberator fire. And Blink not being done means NightEnD couldn't push into it either. No, it's done. Oh, we still only have 3 gateways. Oh, that's another problem. He's gonna have 6 gateways in a second, and you know, because of that, I guess he has a bit faster Colossus. But if his army dies, there's not a lot of reinforcements. Actually, just jumps in here. Colossus is not getting terrified. The Immortal's getting some serious damage done, but the fodder all disappears, and this is where Adepts were supposed to change up Legacy of the Void and Colossus play, but instead the Stalkers die easily, and that fodder gone, everything else dies too.
So it looks
That's
like
it.
Cass has just secured his spot in Stage 2, qualifying for the main qualifier. GG, congrats.
I didn't think NightEnD was so hesitant to use Adepts when we used to cast him versus Terran. I wonder...
Actually, if you remember, he was the guy who would only play Adepts initially. Like, he would go 150 supply into Adepts and just face roll in the early stages of Legacy of the Void.
Yeah. Weird. Just trying out new things, I suppose, but unfortunately... Duz was out in this qualifier. We should have Hearthstone versus Guru being held, so we're going to get into that as soon as possible. See you guys in 2 minutes.